All right, happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome on into the Hat Creek Interior Studios. Hope your day has been spectacular so far and only getting better from here. We got Texas Tech football to talk about. Style points matter this weekend, and that's actually a great thing for Tech football. Overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday. The pizza question from delivery to DiGiorno, from frozen to local. The pizzas that you find overrated, underrated, and everything. Let's talk pizza tonight. And then 24 years later, hard to believe, 24 years. Where were you on September 11th? What do you remember? We say never forget. The hashtag never forget. We use it, everybody uses it. What is it that you don't want to forget? I have thoughts. What is it that you don't want to forget about 11 September 2001? Oh, and we got a Big 12 betting scandal that involves Arizona State basketball that we'll take a look at tonight. And kind of fascinating. Tempest in a teapot. Maybe we'll see. Will anything happen at Arizona State? No, but you're going to see some college basketball players not just get banned, but hey, they go after you guys for this from a criminal standpoint. They got a few things to learn about getting on the app, hitting the kiosk, and hitting click yes bet. All right, let's do the show. Want to get you guys in tonight, right, on the United Supermarkets chat line as we work with you here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios. You see their website, hatcreek.us. If you love Western style furniture, you need to go to their website. They ship anywhere around the state of Texas, around the United States, probably outside the U.S. I mean, if we can get a boat or a plane there, we'll probably get it there. But the best in Western style furniture is waiting for you at Hat Creek Interiors. Legendary stuff. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You started your day there checking out the Raiderland hot links brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker and Post Texas USA, home of world famous beef jerky and more. They do all your processing. Your tailgate is not complete without stopping by Jackson Brothers and Post. If you're coming in from the Metroplex or otherwise heading up 84, stop in, tell them we said hey. Also brought to you tonight by our good friends at the Reserve, a culinary tavern, 103rd and Quaker. Can't make it out to the game, whatever. You want to watch it? Great place. If you're in town for the game this weekend, you want a brunch Saturday or Sunday, fantastic menu there at the Reserve, 103rd and Quaker. It's a culinary tavern, by goodness. All right, let's get in. Let's go. Get on the United Supermarkets chat line, okay? Style points. You know what we're talking about, right, for Texas Tech football. Tech doesn't just need to win. They don't just need to cover. They need to pummel Oregon State. Why do they need to do that? Why would that be the case? You tell me. And then we can do a whole lot of September 11 talk and the idea of what is it that you don't want to forget. I think that, remember Pearl Harbor. Remember the Alamo. Remember Pearl Harbor. Remember Goliad. Okay, that's fine. You remember that, but what is it? I don't think that I've ever heard a substantive discussion on what it is that folks should remember. I'll tell you what I want to remember. I'll tell you what I remember. But each passing year, each passing day away, the thing I don't want to forget is the profound anger. That's right. The anger of that day, that night, the next couple of days, the righteous anger. I don't want to forget that motivating anger to do what needed to be done in the following days, weeks, months, and even years. That to me, the farther we get away from that, we lose the motivating anger. Some would say, well, that's good. I would posit that I think that's actually bad, because when you let go of that emotion, of that moment, of those moments, you open the door for a number September 11th. 100%, in my opinion. All right, you tell me if I'm right, wrong, or in between. So Texas Tech style points. Why do they need style points? You guys get in on the comments. Fire away tonight. And overrated, underrated pizzas. This could be any of the deliveries, any of the national chains, frozen. This could be any of the local stuff, even here, Lubbock or wherever you live. All right? You tell me. Andy jumps in on the United Supermarkets chat line, Market Street. I remember the complete unity of the citizens of the United States of America. It lasted about this long, maybe until President Bush walked out at Yankee Stadium, threw a strike on a ceremonial first pitch, and that was, it didn't last that long. I think we romanticized that moment of everybody being on the same team. I think we do. Mark, going down 45th Street in Amarillo, going to work, listening to the radio, KGNC 710 AM. Instead of plane, it hit the Twin Towers. I first heard about it that morning in an odd way from Jack Dale Sports Line, with Jack Dale going to break at about 7:50, right in through there, and talking about it looked like a plane had hit, the Twin Towers. And it was so innocuous at the moment. Got out of bed, got in the shower. Yeah, that's plane. Golly, that's bad. Somebody's having a bad day. You fly into the freaking Twin Towers. I got in the shower, going about my business, doing whatever. It had been a long Monday night, by the way. Monday Night Football. New York Giants at Denver. We'd done Cujo's remote, Monday Night Football remote for the Williams and Hyatt show. Me and F. Scott Fitzgerald. We stayed till the end of the game, as we did quite a bit back then. JC, 17th floor, my office in City Place Tower, just north of downtown in Dallas. Remember the resolve of the president and the people, and for a brief few days, it was sickening and glorious, sickening and glorious, sickening and glorious. Jeff, RE911, find the YouTube video, Boat Lift and Untold Tale of 9/11 Resilience. I learned of this years later, the biggest boat evacuation in history, 500,000 in 9 hours, getting them off the island of Manhattan. Not quite the Manila boat lift. I would not liken it to what we saw at Dunkirk. Under fire, but yeah, we got a bunch of people. We got to get them somewhere. Yeah, September 11th memories. But I want to know, what do you not want to forget? That's the question. What is it that you were told never forget? What is it that you never want to forget? You tell me. Mark goes back to the Texas Tech. See, this is a show where we bounce back and forth from football to politics to history to pizza. We can do all of these things. We have the ability. We have the capabilities, the capacity mentally to do these things. And I hope that you are sharing this right now with your friends on YouTube. Invite people in, give it thumbs up. Say, hey, you want to talk about cool stuff in Texas Tech, West Texas, all these neat things, you need to follow Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube, on Facebook, free, always, and then obviously on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. But this is the show that does that. Tangents. We go off on tangents, but we can bounce back and forth, just like you and your friends, hanging out at, lunch or dinner or whatever, or happy hour and everything. You're just going back and forth on all these topics. Welcome to it here on the daily broadcast from the Hat Creek Interior Studios. Texas Tech needs to beat down Oregon State like 59-14. All right, here's the deal. Texas Tech has to have style points this week. Your favored 23.5, I think, is the consensus right now. That's not good enough. I've seen some people say, well, hey, it doesn't matter. You just got to get a win. People are overlooking Oregon State, man. Fear the Beaver. Fear the Beaver, man. Respect the Beaver. We respect the Beaver. But you got to beat the hell out of the Beaver. Right, Ward? Beaver gets out of line. You got to beat the hell out of the Beaver. You need style points for a lot of different reasons. You're operating with this much margin for error if you're Texas Tech and you want to make the college football playoff. And isn't that the goal? Try to win the Big 12, get to the Big 12 title game, get to the college football playoff. You spent however much money. It's not just about going to the Alamo Bowl or the Toasted Cheez-Its Bowl or anything else. It is about getting to the playoff, correct? All right, well, your path is this narrow. You have zero quality opponents non-conference. You have a conference that is looking weaker and weaker every day as Kansas State pukes stuff up, Arizona State pukes stuff up. Kansas can't get it done against Missouri. Baylor couldn't get it done against Auburn. No quality wins. Utah, UCLA, that doesn't matter. So you have to beat the hell out of everybody you can beat the hell out of if you are Joey McGuire. And I think they should be talking about it that way. I think they should 100% be talking about it like that and say, we don't just want to win. We got to go hammer down. We got to hang 50. Like Mark says right there, 59-14. We got to do it. I've seen this firsthand before. Go back to the days of the Southwest Conference in Lady Raider basketball. And it was Tech and Texas. And then it was a bunch of teams that didn't do anything for your RPI. And Texas Tech couldn't afford to just beat SMU or Rice or anybody else or Baylor. Baylor was bad at the time. But you name it, anybody else in the Southwest Conference at the time in the mid-90s, you had to absolutely destroy them. And the Lady Raider basketball program knew it, that if you wanted a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed, it was hard to get a 1 seed back then because of the conference, that it was you and Texas. And Texas was on a descent. You were on an ascent. So you had to beat the hell out of people. And the program operated that way, and the players understood and they knew why. I think Texas Tech football needs to operate that way this week and every week going forward, that no matter who you're playing, you can't just win. You have to play it different. Does that bother you as a fan? Are you of the mindset of, well, you just win, baby. Just all you got to do is win. It doesn't work that way anymore. Texas Tech is going to be they're going to be beaten down by national writers because for 2 different reasons. 1, the schedule, non-conference. 2, the Big 12 conference. 3, a lot of them aren't going to like the fact that they're trying to buy their way into the party, that they're trying to buy their way into the club. And they'll have some resistance on that. So they're going to have to overcome that resistance with style points. That's the reality. Your thoughts. We'll do the prediction contest, not contest, but we'll do predictions tomorrow on the score. And I'll give you my score tomorrow night. But tonight, I want to talk about I want to ask you as Tech fans, are you comfortable with the idea going forward that you have to run up the score on everybody you can, that you have to have high style points, or do you think it doesn't matter? Jeff, having been to New York City so many times in the last 10 years, what I don't want to forget is that no one who lived there on 9/11 was untouched by the events of the day. Love the New Yorkers. I was in New York City with the Lady Raiders exactly 100 days after the attack. That we went down to the crater, still a crater. You're still walking in and out, walking up that hill. Construction workers and rescue, or what, however you want to phrase it, covered in dust, walking out in their hard hats. People lining up along the fence line, still applauding them. Was there 100 days later, and it was still so raw. It reminded me of being in Oklahoma City after the Oklahoma City bombing in '95, and being there a year after that. And they had the area cordoned off with the chain link fence and all the teddy bears and mementos tied to it. It had that powerful feeling. By the way, flying into New York City on that flight, flying into LaGuardia that day, the day we flew in was day 99 after the attacks. I've never been on a plane that was more quiet, ungodly quiet, than that flight flying into New York City that day. As we flew over and people are just looking out the windows and all you can hear is the sound of the engines. I'm like, holy crap. Fast forward a few years later, go back to New York City. The memorial is built. The memorial is amazing. The museum and seeing all that, unbelievably powerful stuff. So we say never forget. What is it you don't want to forget? I don't want to forget my anger. I don't want to forget the anger. I don't think you should. I don't think people should. But we naturally do, don't we? We forget the anger. JC jumps in on our Facebook page tonight. Here on the United Supermarkets chat line. Pizza, like a couple of things, even when not great, still not bad. Obviously, talking about fishing. Red Baron frozen underrated. Delivery chains are ready to right. Domino's, PJ, Papa John's, CC's Buffet after Pee Wee Sports was underrated. I never really did a whole lot of the CC. You know, the one thing I miss in Lubbock, I guess they're gone, is the old Double Dave's. You know, I know it's an Aggie tradition and everything else, but the stuffed pepperoni rolls, my gosh, pepperoni rolls, those were underrated. You got so many places in Lubbock now. Perry's Pizza. What else? You got Papa V's. Is it Dario's? You still got one guy, which Calzone. They had the divorce and everything. I think we lost the West Crust. A lot of different pizza places, like local. I guess local. You guys give me those tonight. Over underrated right pizza. I still think Domino's is really good delivery. Pizza Hut doesn't do anything for me. I'll give you a great heads up. Godfather's Pizza out of Farwell, Texas, brings a pizza truck. Most every Thursday, they park it at Hope Lutheran Church on 98th and Frankfurt. Unbelievably good. Cheeseburger pizza, taco pizza, all meat, all sorts of different pizza. Oh my God, it is tremendous. Godfather's Pizza, not the Godfather's you get at the gas station. I think a couple of places around town. I'm talking like a real old-fashioned Godfather's Pizza there in Farwell, Texas. Shout out to them. He is the fake Natalie Maines, unless she is the real Natalie Maines. Dear Hyatt, how are you? I'm all right for the shape I'm in. Glad to hear you're fine. This is not the year we need to have a weak non-conference schedule coupled by a weaker conference. And we were as players. Do you remember when the old BCS strictly went off style points? I do. I was there. We need to hang points on teams like the old run and shoot Cougs. Love you. I agree. If you can put up 50, put up 50. If you can put up 60, put up 60. You've got to beat the ever-loving out of everybody you can do that to this year. Just merely beating Oregon State now, and pardon me, the days of resting starters in the second half, minus maybe midway through the fourth quarter when you hit 50, I think that's done. Do you run the risk of getting people hurt? Yeah, but here's the deal. The deeper you go into the season, the higher the equity is in the game you're playing to win. That each game you play to win and you win big, that increases your equity stake in the potential college football playoff bid. Because I'm telling you right now, one bid league right now, depending on how it plays out. And this Tech Utah game could very well be an elimination game. The loser could be out of the Big 12 championship game, could be out of the potential playoff run. Jeff, Mr. Gaddy's Buffet got me through many days of undergrad and grad school. Gaddy's wasn't bad. Randy Wade, I just like saying the name. Randy Wade, NFL players may be proud today, not afraid to stand up for what's right. I haven't seen everything about what you're talking about. I've seen a couple of things that make me think that the days of 2020 and BLM and some of that stuff has faded away a little bit, and that's fine by me. JC, that Dallas office I sat in was Fidelity Investment. I'll never forget bond brokers at Cantor and Fitzgerald and their families. Long story short, I had a very good friend. He lost over 25 people that he knew at Cantor Fitzgerald He didn't work in the building. He worked in New York City. That I think it was over 25 when it was all said and done, that he personally knew, that he personally worked with on 9/11, that emails never returned. Lawrence not even waiting for tomorrow and predictions on a Friday. 41-17 Tech. That's not enough. I'm telling you right now, that's not enough. If it's 41-17 Tech over Oregon State, that's not enough style points. That doesn't get you anywhere. It won't. What is it, 23 and a half right now? $42-17. You upped it by one. It's not enough. Got a few more minutes left with you tonight. All right. Let me. I want to get this in, and then we can get back to all the other topics. So there's this burgeoning scandal in college basketball on basketball players betting on their own teams and other games and everything. So CBS Sports today, NCAA investigating sports betting violations against 13 basketball players, 6 Division I programs. The NCAA announced that it is chasing violations of sports betting rules involving 13 athletes at 6 colleges: Arizona State, Eastern Michigan, Temple, New Orleans, North Carolina A&T, and Mississippi Valley State. The NCAA enforcement staff allegedly uncovered some student athletes betting on and against their own teams alongside other point-shaving allegations. This comes on the heels of Fresno State's Mikael Robinson, Jalen Weaver, in addition to San Jose State's Stephen Vasquez having their eligibility permanently revoked earlier this week for gambling on themselves. NCAA, in a release, through the NCAA's extensive integrity monitoring program, and it's not the NCAA, it's the casinos that do that, but sounds good, NCAA, and network of sources, casinos. The enforcement staff became aware of unusual betting activities around regular season games played by these teams. The enforcement staff followed up on those reports and substantiated, in some cases, via text messages, direct messages on social media platforms, and other material evidence that violations occurred. The NCAA noted that the schools and current coaching staffs are not alleged to have been involved in the violations. I'll stop there and say I believe that. I truly do. I believe that the schools and the coaches are not involved, that what we have here are individually stupid players. Arizona State, the only power conference school connected men's basketball program, previously embroiled in a point-shaving scandal in the mid-'90s when Stephen Smith conspired with a teammate, Isaac Burton, point shave. The school provided a statement to CBS today. Arizona State University, aware of the NCAA investigation and outcome related to a former student athlete who is no longer enrolled at Arizona State. The university cooperated fully with the inquiries and was not implicated in any way. Again, agree. The former Arizona State player who is alleged to have engaged in impermissible gambling activity is B.J. Freeman. You may remember the name. 13.7 points, 39 rebounds, 22 starts before he was kicked off, remember, in late February due to what ASU disclosed at the time that was conduct detrimental to the team, the program. He started his career at Milwaukee, announced his commitment to UCF in late April. School never acknowledged he was part of a program. All right, so this is all part of a investigation and fallout to a Temple. It started at Temple, different stuff. These players are just stupid. They're as stupid as who was it that was the assistant? Was it the assistant coach at not Tennessee? Who was it? SEC 2 years ago? No. It was betting. No. He wasn't with Tennessee. He was like betting on Tennessee or Arkansas. Some high school coach. Dude, high school players, college players, whatever. On your phone, making bets. They know who you are. They can track it. You guys are stupid. They inherently, not the programs, the players inherently deserve what they get if they get involved in this. There are so many other things you can bet on legally in most states. Don't bet on yourself. Don't bet on your team. Don't bet on your buddy's team. Go do a stupid in-game parlay and take the Redskins +3 in the under tonight. All right? We go do something stupid. Actually, that might not be too stupid. The house needs that tonight. Yeah, and it ain't the NCAA that's tracking this. It's the casinos and the gaming commissions, but mainly the casinos. They know they know what's going on all this. All right, idiots. All right, so I wanted to get that in just because I wanted to make fun of the people involved in it. JC, just win was nice when you didn't know if you were going to win. Tech is literally 3 touchdowns better than any other Big 12 team. Well, not Utah, Arizona State, but go roll teams and let the committee sort it out. Lawrence, I don't know if they're 3 touchdowns better than Iowa State. What do you think, JC? Could be. I know I'm not JC. Could they outscore Iowa State by 3? Yeah. Yeah, Tech with current Big 12 shaming going on. Tech has to win by big numbers against conference foes, says Tom T.T. Rex. A great band in the late 60s, early 70s. The sounds of old T.T. Rex. But you are correct. The Big 12 shaming is going to go on all year. Toying with a 45-point margin on Saturday. Toying. Stephen, I wonder, and he's on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. I wonder if they considered all of my late night 90s Hawaii bets as unusual betting pattern. Hold on, we can get it all back. Hawaii and San Diego State. This is it. We're going to get it all back today, guys. I really feel good about the Rainbow Warriors. This Marshall Faulk guy, I mean, how good can he be? He's just one guy. Let's put it all on the Warriors. I feel good about this one, all right? You roll into Lone Star Oyster Bar about 9:30, 9:45. They're on 34th. The game kicks off. At halftime, you're in hiding. At least that's the way the story was told to me. That's the way the story was told to me. That's how I heard it. All right, your last thoughts. Overrated, underrated, rated, or right? Pizza. Are you all in agreement? Texas Tech has to go for style points, right? You have to run up the score. You can't merely win. You can't merely just cover. That they have to run up the score. And your September 11th thoughts. And I asked the question this way: what is it that you don't want to forget? When we say never forget, what is it that you're never forgetting? Remember Pearl Harbor. Remember the Alamo. Remember this. Remember that. Remember the Maine. How many of you remember the Maine? Are you remembering the Maine? What was the main thing about remembering the Maine? I never want to forget how angry I was. I don't. I do not want to forget that. One of the other things, as that day concluded, there were so many weird aspects about it. Telling my then girlfriend, now wife, you got to, hey, whatever you got to do, we got to get gas. We got to get gas. Fill up everything with gas, right? We all had to get gas. I don't know. It just seemed logical. But then late that night, when it would be early morning in the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, the Coldstream Guards, which is the Queen's band, or the King's band now with King Charles the Third. Is he the third? I lose track. The Coldstream Guards played for the first time, I believe, publicly. I think there had been a few private instances where this had occurred, but in front of the British loyal subjects, the Coldstream Guard played the United States national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, which, as you know, is the music is taken from a old English drinking song of the time, and then Francis Scott Key took the music, reworked it, and there are 3 verses to the to the national anthem, which most people don't know. And one of my favorite lines is, "We'll wipe the streets clean with the blood of the British." That hits hard. But watching the British people, loyal subjects of the Queen at the time, and the Coldstream Guards play the United States national anthem there at Buckingham Palace, and it was probably close to midnight, maybe later that night, into September 12th. And that was the moment when I had my, you'd been emotional all day. That was really my like emotional waterfall of that day. That for whatever reason, that of all the things, caused me to have, just tears running down my cheeks of emotion. And it's a British, band playing the national anthem. That of all those things, and I can still watch that video today, I can still feel that same emotion. I can still feel that same whatever when I see that video, that grainy, bad, not high definition, somebody shooting on a handy cam type deal. I can still feel that. So when we say never forget, what is it that you're never forgetting? Think about that, all right? As you watch the replay tonight, you can hit me on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, in comments here on YouTube and on our Facebook page for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. If you want to talk about what you don't want to forget, hit me in the replies, then it'll be great. Tomorrow, most Texan thing you have done this week, and on Facebook and on Twitter tonight, we will have your daily dose of West Texas. I got a cool shot coming up for you. I think you guys are going to like it. We love celebrating West Texas. All right, y'all are the best. We appreciate it. A couple of comments before we get out of here. Yard mode heading to God's country tomorrow. First tech game in many moons. Hope you enjoy it. Safe travels. And last thought on 9/11. Also remember the fire and police, which direction they ran. Amen. God bless them all. All right, you guys are the best. We had a lot of fun tonight. We'll see you tonight on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, on the website, and there on our Facebook Live, our Facebook page for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Subscribe to everything. Don't miss a thing. And it's all waiting for you there at theraiderland.com.